The shadow at the window, the final part. Days had passed since Sarah's last encounter with the shadowy figure. She hadn't slept much, her mind constantly replaying the horrifying events over and over. Each night, she sat in her living room with all the lights on, clutching her phone, ready to call for help at the slightest noise. But tonight, she decided it was time to take control. She couldn't live in fear any longer. Armed with a flashlight and a sense of determination, Sarah decided to inspect the house thoroughly. She started with the living room, moving carefully through each room, checking every window, every lock. But nothing seemed out of place, no signs of forced entry, no mysterious footprints. Still, the feeling of being watched lingered, a heavy weight in the air. Just as she was about to give up and return to her vigil on the couch, she heard it again, the faint tapping, this time coming from the basement. Her heart pounded in her chest, but she knew she had to face whatever was down there. Slowly, she made her way to the basement door, the sound growing louder with each step. Taking a deep breath, she flung the door open and shone her flashlight into the darkness. The beam of light caught the edge of a figure standing in the corner, facing the wall. It was a tall, shadowy shape, unnervingly still. For a moment, Sarah was frozen in place, her mind racing to make sense of what she was seeing. Then, with a sudden movement, the figure turned toward her, revealing a face, or rather the lack of one. The figure had no discernible features, just a dark, hollow void where its face should be. Paralyzed by fear, Sarah stumbled backward, her flashlight flickering. The figure began to move, slowly advancing toward her, its presence growing more oppressive with each step. Desperation took hold as Sarah grabbed a nearby object and hurled it at the figure, but it passed through as if hitting nothing but air. In that moment, she realized that the shadow wasn't just an intruder. It was something far more sinister, something that had been haunting her all along. She had to get out. She turned and ran up the stairs, slamming the door behind her. But the shadowy figure was relentless, slipping through the cracks, its form merging with the darkness around her. With her heart racing and breath coming in ragged gasps, Sarah made a final, desperate dash for the front door. As she reached it, she felt a cold hand grasp her shoulder, pulling her back. But just as she was about to give in to the terror, a burst of light flooded the room. The figure recoiled, its form dissolving into the shadows as the first rays of dawn broke through the windows. Exhausted and shaken, Sarah collapsed on the floor, the grip on her shoulder now just a memory. The shadow was gone, at least for now, but she knew, deep down, that it would return. It was part of her now, a dark presence lurking in the corners of her mind, waiting for the night to fall again.